Hello students, in the previous video we have seen the example. Here in this example we are calculating the frequency of square wave generated on pin P1.5. So in the previous example here we have calculated the amount of time delay in the delay subroutine, but in the sixth example we are including the overhead due to instruction in the loop. It means we are taking into consideration the clock cycles. So these are the values of every instruction. So move TL0 comma hash 0 F2H. This instruction takes 2 clock cycles. So these are the values taken from the standard table for 801 microcontroller. Let us see how to calculate the time period, and from the time period we are going to calculate the frequency of the square wave generated. So the step is, first we need to add all these values. So we get total 28. So total 28 clock cycles are required to execute this whole code. Since we know that here we have to multiply it with 2, because half one is for uh, the square wave consists of 2 parts. So therefore it is to be multiplied by 2. So one is high part and another one is low part. So 2 into the overall value is total of cycles is 28 into the time period, the machine cycle value is 1.085 microsecond. So we got 60.76 microseconds as the timer period. So we know that timer period equal to 1 divided by f, where f is the frequency. So if we want to get frequency value, we have to divide 60.76 by, we have to divide this value. 1 divided by 60.76 will give us 16458.2 hertz. So this is how we need to find out the frequency of square wave. In this example, find the delay generated by timer 0 in the following code. Do not include the overhead due to instruction. It means we need not consider the clock cycles. So this is the set of instructions we have. So let us first analyze it. In the first statement, we are clearing the bit P2.3 and move tmod comma hash 01. It means we are selecting timer 0 and 16-bit mode is being selected. Move TL0 comma 3EH. 3EH is moved in TL0 of timer 0, and B8H is moved in TH0 of timer 0, and the timer 0 is being set high through P2.3 and starting the timer using the instruction set B TR0. Okay. Next, we are monitoring the timer flag. So when the timer flag becomes high, we come out of the loop and we stop the timer and clear the timer flag. Okay. And also clear P2.3. This problem has two solutions. We can solve it using these two ways. In the first solution, we have to take the maximum value of the timer, that is FFH, and minus the count, that is B83E, B83EH, plus 1. Plus 1 is for the rollover. So this gives us 47C2H as the value, and its decimal equivalent is 18,370. In decimal, we need to multiply this value 18,370 into 1.085 microseconds, which will give us the value as 19.93145 milliseconds. In the second way procedure, we have to take the TH and TL value, which is B83EH. Its decimal equivalent is 47,166. So we have to subtract this value from FFH, and its equivalent decimal value is 65,536, which is nothing but FFH, minus 47,166, which is nothing but B83EH, and it is equal to 18,370. This means that the timer counts from B3 8EH to FFFFH. This plus rolling over to 0 goes through a total of 18,370 clock cycles. So these many clock cycles are required, where each clock is 1.85 microseconds in duration. So this 1.085 is the duration of each uh, machine cycle. Therefore, we have 18,370 into 1.085 microseconds, which gives us the answer as 19.93145 milliseconds as the width of the pulse. Next, modify TL and TH in example 7 to get the largest time delay possible. Find the delay in millisecond. In your calculation, exclude the overhead due to instruction. So what we have to do here is, we have to increase the time delay. Whenever we have to increase the time delay, we need to decrease the value of TL register. So the lowest value that a TL register can get is 0. Okay. Therefore, here to get the largest delay, we make both TL and TH to 0. This will count up to 000. We have to make both registers TL and TH to 0. So this means that we are starting to count from 0000H to the maximum value FFFFH, and then roll over to 0 back. Okay, so this will result in 65,536 states, because we have delay here as 65,536 minus 0. Okay, because 0 is the value in TL and TH, into 1.085 microseconds, which gives us 71.1065 milliseconds. So total number of clock cycles required into duration of each clock cycle gives us this answer. So this is the largest time delay possible. Next, the following program generates a square wave on P1.5 continuously using timer 1 for time delay. Find the frequency of square wave if xtal equal to 11.0592 megahertz. In your calculation, do not include the overhead due to instructions in the loop. So we need not consider the machine cycles. Again, here we have to find out the frequency of the square wave. First, we need to find out the time period, and from that we have to find out the frequency. So we have to follow the same procedure as in the previous example. The largest value minus the values in TH and TL. Okay, so it is 7634H, and the answer is equivalent to 89 CBH, plus 1 is for this one is for the rollover. So it also requires one cycle. Therefore, the overall number of clock cycles required is 89 CCH. So its equivalent decimal value is 35,276 clock count, and the time delay for these many clock cycles is equal to 35,276 into 1.085 microseconds. I hope you know how we got this 1.085 microsecond. We have to divide 1 divided by 12 into 11.0592 will give us this value. So this is the time period value, 38.274 millisecond for half of the square wave. So if you want to get it for the full square wave, we have to multiply it with 2. Then to get the frequency, we have to calculate it as 1 divided by 38.274. Okay. So this is the answer that we got. Here we are not multiplying it with 2 because the high portion and the low portion of the square wave pulse will be equal. Therefore, the frequency will be same. Next, to calculate the values to be loaded into TL and TH registers, we have to look at the following example. So these steps will help you to understand what value has to be put in TL and TH to generate the given delay. So assume xtal equal to 11.0592 megahertz. We can use the following steps for finding th, tl register values. First step is divide the desired time delay by 1.085 microsecond. For the given xtal value, this is the value we have to take. Then second step is perform 65,536 minus n, where 65,536 is the decimal equivalent of FFFFH and n is the decimal value we got from step 1. In the third step, convert the result of step 2 into hex. So we will get a value like this, which is YYXX. And step 4 is set TL with XX and TH with YY. So we are having the lower byte in TL and higher byte in TH. So we have to apply these 4 steps. Let us see an example. Assume that xtal equal to 11.0592 megahertz. What value do we need to load the timer's register if we want to have a time delay of 5 milliseconds? Show the program for timer 0 to create a pulse width of 5 milliseconds on P2.3. Okay, we need to generate a time delay of 5 milliseconds. Since xtal is equal to 11.0592 megahertz, the counter counts up every 1.085 microseconds. So we know this calculation. This means that out of many 1.085 microsecond intervals, we must take a 5 millisecond pulse. So to get that, we have to apply the 4 steps that we just saw. First step, we have to divide one by the other. That is, the required time delay is 5 milliseconds divided by 1.085 microsecond will give us 4,608 clocks. Second step is to achieve what we need to load into TL and TH. We have to subtract the value that we got in first step from 65,536 and the answer here is 60,928. In the third step, we have to convert 60,928 to hex. So its equivalent is EE00H. In the fourth step, we have to put the lower byte of this in TL and the higher byte in TH. Therefore, TH will be equal to EEH and TL will be equal to 00H. So this is how we got we have find out what values are to be loaded in register TH and TL. The next thing is we need to write the code. So in the question they have mentioned show the program for timer 0 to create a pulse width of 5 milliseconds on P2.3. So first step is clear P2.3. Then you have to select timer 0 and 16-bit mode programming. Therefore, move tmod comma #01. Next, in the loop, move TL0 comma 0, move TH0 comma 0 EEH. So we are moving the low byte and the high byte that we just got into TH0 and TL0. Next, set B P2.3. So you have to set the P2.3 as high. Then start the timer 0 and monitor the timer flag 0, that is JNB TF0 again. Once the flag is high, stop the timer and clear the timer flag. Now another example. Assume that xtal equal to 11.0592 megahertz. Write a program to generate a square wave of 2 kilohertz frequency on pin P1.5. So this is similar to the previous example, except that we must toggle the bit to generate the square wave. Okay, so look at the following steps. Here they have not given the time period, they have given the frequency. Okay, therefore, time period equal to 1 divided by f and frequency is 2, therefore 1 divided by 2 kilohertz, which is equal to 500 microseconds is the period of the square wave. 1 by 2 of it for high and low portion of the pulse is 250 microseconds. So 250 microsecond for high portion, 250 microsecond for low portion. Now this is the required time delay. Next, we have to divide this required time delay with 1.085 microseconds, and we get 230 as the value. So subtract this 230 from 65,536, which is equivalent to 65,306. So this is number of clocks. Now we have to convert this value into hex. So number of counts is now equivalent to FF1AH. We have to move the higher byte in TH and lower byte in TL. So TL will be equal to 1AH and TH will be equal to FFH, all in hex. So the program is again timer 0 16-bit mode means we have to take move tmod #01H or 01. Then actually here we have to take TL0 here. TL0 is 1AH and TH0 should be 0FFH. Okay. So either this has to be 0 or this has to be timer, this value has to be changed. So assume these to be TL0 and TH0 and set start timer 0. So TR0. Monitor the timer, clear, stop the timer once the flag becomes high, then clear the point P1.5, then clear the timer flag. Again, repeat the process, repeat the same process. Okay. So in this example, there is a little mistake. We have to take this as TL0, TH0 and TR0. The only difference in the 10th problem and this 11th problem is the pin values are different. Apart from that, here in the previous problem, the time period was given, how much delay is required. And in this, the frequency is given. So from frequency, first we have to get the time period and then we have to follow the steps. 12th assignment. Assume Xtal equal to 11.0592 megahertz. Write a program to generate a square wave of 50 kilohertz frequency on pin P2.3. So this is the correct program. Again, it is similar to 11th assignment. Here T is equal to 1 by 50 because 50 is the frequency. We get 20 millisecond the period of square wave. So we have to divide 20 millisecond by 2 because half of it will be for high portion and half of it will be for low portion. So we get 10 millisecond as the answer. 10 milliseconds divided by 1.085 microsecond will give us 9216 and subtracted from 65,536, which is equivalent to 56,320 count. In decimal, convert it to hex, it is DC00H. The last step is put the low byte 00 into TL and the high byte DC into TH register. So this is the correct program. Move tmod comma #10H. Here timer 1 and mode 1 is selected. 10 will select timer 1. In the previous example also we could modify this as 10 and the whole program would be correct. Otherwise we need to modify these statements. Here again we have to take the value. What is value in TL? 00 into TL1, and in TH1 we have to take 0 DCH. Then start timer 1. To start timer 1 we have the instruction set to be TR1. Then monitor the timer flag 1. So JNB TF1 comma back. This loop will be continuously executed until the timer flag 1 becomes high. So once the timer flag becomes high, clear, stop the timer 1, clear P2.3. So complement P2.3 to get high and low pulse. We have to repeat the same set of instructions again. So reload the timer because we have to manually reload it since mode 1 isn't auto reload. Examine the following program and find the time delay in seconds. Exclude the overhead due to instructions in the loop. The program is being given. We have to find the time delay in seconds. Okay. So the step here is we have to take the values of TH1 and TL1. In TH1 we have 01H, 01, and in TL1 we have 08H, 08. So if we take the whole 16-bit value, it will be 0108H, and its the decimal equivalent is 264. So this is the count value. Subtract it from 65,536. We get the answer as 65,272. Now we have to multiply this value with the 1.085 microseconds, which will give us the answer as 70.820 milliseconds. And for 200 of them, because here you have the counter as 200, this set of instruction will be repeated 200 times. Therefore, we have to multiply it with 200. 200 into 70.820 millisecond. This 70.820 millisecond is the time taken for executing the delay, overall delay operation once. Since the delay is repeated 200 times, we are multiplying it with 200, and the answer we get is 14.164024 seconds. We shall see mode 2 programming in the next video.